Hey Pisces, and welcome to the High Vibe channel. My name is Nell Nicole, and I am your astrologer. Today, we're going to be talking about Pisces rising. I want to preface this video by saying, first of all, welcome, just welcome. And there are two other series that we've already completed on the channel, sun signs and moon signs. We've gone through all 12 in each, and so make sure that you go check those out for yourself, for your loved ones, for celebrities, for your own information. It's just really cool, and there's some really good conversation going on in the comments over there, so make sure you go check it out, add your 2 cents. And so it's only right that we continue on and talk about rising signs. Now, why rising signs? Well, as we continue to talk more about our charts and learn more about what these placements mean and how things work, we need to understand what the chart is. And so the rising sign is sort of like the starting point of our chart. Chart is the 360-degree wheel, broken down into 12 equal sections, which are comprised of like 30 degrees each, right? And so the rising sign is this is backwards, so I would just say, like, here, rising sign is like the starting point of your chart, and it goes in a counterclockwise motion. And whatever sign your rising sign is, or your first house or your ascendant is, that's the first point, and it lets us know, because the chart always goes in order, it lets us know where all the other signs lie, which where they're placed means, or where they're placed correlates to the house that they rule. Houses are these little sectors, little pie charts. Houses are like little segments of the human condition within psychology. And so they all mean something. And based on where your rising is, the chart moves. So we need to know where the hell it is. And then, of course, you have your planets and your asteroids and your celestial bodies that are placed on top of the chart, which are energy centers. They're activators. And so I like to say that the chart is like a map and a clock put together. And, the houses or the sectors or whatever are like the cities or the regions. And then where the planets are like little landmarks that let us know, if you need to know what's up with your career, we can look at a certain house and we can talk about certain planets that would help aid in that movement of that energy for you. Okay, so it's really, really cool. Astrologers need all this information to be able to synthesize the information in your chart to get you the guidance and the answers and the understanding that you need. So without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about the first house. So first house talks about our personality, how we initiate, how we come off. It's the filter through which everything else in your chart comes in order to equal into your expression, your self-expression. So your first house is Pisces. So Pisces is a very dreamy type of sign. It's ruled by Neptune, and some say Jupiter even, but more so Neptune. Neptune is the sign that talks about fantasy. It talks about spirituality. It talks about just things unseen. It's a more outer planet, and so it has a very out of reach type of, energy. So yeah, it's just that very out of reach type of air to it. And so Pisces risings tend to have a very dreamy type of persona to them, a very Hollywood type of persona to them even. It translates as intuitive and artistic, compassionate even, like just very doughy-eyed and sort of like all, I don't want to say all consumed, but almost naive in a way, but not childish, just, big hearted. It often appears gentle, mystical, or otherworldly. So these types of people often have like an otherworldly even type of look to them, a very fairy type of look, or fishy type of look. Just trust me, okay? Known for their sensitivity and ability to connect emotionally. Their hearts are on their sleeves. And even if their hearts are not totally on their sleeves, the level of compassion that they can hold for others is very, very palpable and very obvious. And even if they're going through things in their own life, they don't seem like it. It's like they seem like they're floating on a cloud, like they're being, like they're just in a dreamland, in a dream world, seriously, truly. And they tend to cultivate those types of realities for themselves so that they can maintain that, which I ain't mad at it, Pisces risings. Now with that, sometimes their personal power tends to be lost on them. It's kind of like the 48th law of power: play a dummy to catch a dummy, you know. So then sometimes people peg you as a dummy, you ain't no dummy, but it's okay because it's all an act anyways. Pisces is also the area of the chart where all of the other signs, like the wisdom of all the other signs, culminate. So they know how to do what they gotta do. That's part of the air, honestly. But okay, then we get down to the fourth house, Gemini, which lends more to what I was just saying. Fourth house is about the psychology of a person. It's about early childhood experiences, early conditioning. It's like the landscape of our minds based on how we were raised, what it is that we were conditioned to see things as. Gemini is very dynamic. Okay, so with Pisces being on the rising sign, all the signs that we're going to talk about today are mutable. So all of these signs have the ability to kind of go in and out of, I don't want to say certain realities, but energies. And so, okay, having Gemini in the mental energy, Gemini is in the how we nurture ourselves. There's this tension or friction here where one feels a little bit restless within the mental, a little bit contrarian, and pushed to make a decision to have a particular type of identity, which can feed into that Piscean, like there's this changeability within the persona. Like you can change to fit certain social situations because in the early childhood you were taught to be very flexible and adaptable. In my notes, I wrote early home life might have involved frequent changes or intellectual stimulation. So yeah, the need to stay on your toes is kind of like a second nature to you. Grew up learning to adapt and communicate effectively. So having to adapt to certain situations and be able to communicate, yeah, it really lends to you being able to be like the type of person you can drop in any type of situation and you'll be able to float. Family dynamics may have involved duality or inconsistency. So there might have been some inconsistency within the home life, in the living situation, within the family dynamics. Um, and within that, you learned a lot about people and how people are and how to be. And so you can turn certain aspects of your personality on or off if need be. Okay, moving into the seventh house. The seventh house talks about relationships. Relationships as far as personal, platonic, romantic, private, professional is what I meant to say. Professional relationships, even in partnerships. So yours is in Virgo. So seventh house, Virgo. You want your relationships to have a level of utility to them. They have to sort of have a meaning or purpose, in order for you to feel fulfilled in that. And you want to feel meaningful and like useful to the relationship dynamics as well, in order to feel fulfilled. And so it's also a sense of wanting to play the fixer or be fixed up within your relationships. There needs to be a particular dynamic where one person can kind of reach down and grab the other person up. But you're attracted to practical and detail-oriented and grounded partners because you might feel that you sort of lack those characteristics within yourself, which you don't. You just have to learn to access them. And you seek relationships that provide structure or balance or harmony to your environment. So if there's an issue and your partner can solve or remedy that issue, that will be the perfect type of salve. But you want to also make sure that you're not sitting around waiting for somebody to fix your issues, and that you're not also being too codependent with it, because that Virgo Pisces axis tends to lend towards codependency. So where it can be very, very nice, and you probably have the mental capacity as this Gemini to really work the locks on a person and understand what it takes in order to be able to get what it is that you need from them. You want to make sure that you're also embodying those same traits, because anything could happen. Just, you already know. But yeah. And then 10th house is the last house we're going to talk about. 10th house is the house of public recognition. It's the house of, like, it's the highest point in your chart. It's where all these other aspects that we're talking about kind of work their momentum and come together in order to shine at the top of your chart where everyone can see it. 10th house is career. It's where you fit within the status quo, all of that. I don't know if I said reputation, but reputation. So it's in Sagittarius. So Sagittarius ruled by Jupiter. It's where things go to blow up and just really become magnified and sizable, for real. It's knowledge, it's spirituality, it's our bliss, it's our joy. And so you might be known for being really, really optimistic within the, your career, your reputation, how you're seen in the world. You just take an optimistic view on things. People see you as like no sweat type of person. You can really make it through very tumultuous situations very easily. You make it look easy. Very adventurous and philosophical in your career. I think with that I mean you know how people like really take to heart those memes and those things. Reach for the stars, the moon, and reach your land when the stars, head ass type shit. Like really on some stuff like that, to the point where it's inspirational. Publicly admired for your creativity and ability to inspire others. So when you are able to really lean into your creative side and your adventurous side, I would say even more so, like your ability to really experience different facets of life, and highlight different areas, different voices and things like that. I think that that's when you'll really see that public recognition come in, and blowing stuff up. I don't know, but Sagittarius also to me is like the major networking sign of it all. It's like they're the major networkers. So when you can put that zhuzh on, I feel like that'll be very well respected. But anyways, that was just the quick synopsis of you guys' chart, Pisces. If you'd like a more in-depth reading on your personal birth chart, as always, there's a link down below in the description box where you can, of course, secure a session with me. Like I said, look forward to the other series where we're going to go through each individual house. That will definitely take a lot more time, so we're going to take our time on that one. But until then, go ahead and let me know what you thought of this video, or if you thought I left anything out, or if I was really on the money with certain things, down in the comment section down below. And I really, really appreciate you guys for just spending a little time with me. Until next time.